Good afternoon and welcome to Aurora Connects Season 3. This is Episode 8, Aurora's 30th season. I'm Dawn Monique Williams, Aurora Associate Artistic Director. And as always, I'm joined by Josh Costello, our Artistic Director. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Dawn. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So here we go. Here we are. We have a big announcement. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really going to do it. We're going to talk about the season. I want to remind folks that they can come in along on YouTube. We're not live on Facebook today, so apologies, we'll get it up after the fact. But you can also always email us at connects@auroratheater.org. That's connects@auroratheater.org. We love hearing from folks.
And right now we're talking about next season, but this season is still going strong. We have The Bluest Eye by Lydia R. Diamond. Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye streaming right now. It's an audio drama. Dawn directed it. It's fantastic. And you can listen to it. You can go to our website at auroratheater.org and listen to The Bluest Eye. While you're there, you can also check out a subscription perhaps for next season, the plays we're talking about, and you can make a donation. We have a donate button at the top right of our webpage where you can donate to Aurora Theater Company and help us weather this very difficult storm that we're perhaps seeing the clouds start to roll away from a little bit. And right now, any donations that you make will be matched by our very generous board of directors, up to $100,000. So we are very grateful to our board and very grateful to everybody who's part of our community. If you can help us a little bit, we would sure appreciate it.
Great. Now, normally we would go to a quote here, but we're going to forego the quote today because we're going to talk a bunch of plays in our season, and we're going to do a little look back. So I hand it over to you, Josh, to
so the other news before we get to the season, the other big news that we have this week is that our beloved managing director of 11 years, Julie Saltzman Kellner, is moving on. So we have asked Julie to join us on the show along with board member Rebecca Parlette-Edwards to say a few words. So Julie and Rebecca, welcome to Aurora Connects. I think we're going to have them on the screen in just a moment. There they are. Hello, there's Rebecca.
I think Julie needs to be in the big frame.
It's celebratory. Hey, Josh. Hey, Dawn.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Rebecca. So Julie, you've been our managing director since, before I started working at Aurora. You've been here for 11 years. I've been here for almost 9. And you've done just tremendous work with this company. You've grown our budget by over 40% in your time there, before COVID, and you've done so much for this whole community. Why are you leaving us? What's happening?
Oh, it's a hard choice because I do love Aurora and it has been a lot, but it is time for sort of that next step. I'm moving on to an organization called Curiosity, and I'll be their director of finance and operations, helping keep that company running and growing and their expansion plans on track, so that the organization will be even more exciting than it is now and more people can come join us out there.
Yeah, I've taken my kids to Curiosity. It's great. It's a
really
children's science museum, and there's animals. There's all kinds of great stuff there.
Yeah, it's an animal sanctuary and a kids science museum, and there's an amazing playground that'll be opening this August. It's all inclusive and physics playground, they're calling it. And they do a lot of classes and a lot of camps and a lot of science education for younger kids, STEM education. Although I will continue to push for STEAM education, since obviously we
get the arts in there.
Arts there as well.
Excellent. Excellent. And Rebecca, you are a board member at Aurora Theater Company. Will you just introduce yourself to our audience?
Rebecca Parlette-Edwards, treasurer. I joined January of 2020, loving Aurora for years and years and years. In fact, my husband and I went when we were at the Berkeley City Club, didn't know anything about the finances or anything. And Julie took me under her wing, patient beyond words, usually spoke faster than I could think. But other than that, she has guided me through understanding Aurora, its finances, which I am so impressed how much she has kept it strong, even during this last year. I take my hats off to her because she is just dogged about making sure that this company survives. And thank you, Julie. All of us members, board members are just Thank you.
Thank you. It's been really wonderful being able to work with you on all the finances. This last, I guess we've had about a year together with you as treasurer, and it's been great for me as well. I've really enjoyed that partnership and everybody at Aurora, and it's going to be a big change for sure.
And
Julie, what are some of the accomplishments that you've had at Aurora that you're most proud of?
There's a lot of accomplishments. I think the biggest one, which is really actually very hard to quantify, but it is to me the most important, which is really upholding our values. And it's something I really love about Aurora, and it's a big part of what's kept me here, is that we have shared values. We continue to discuss and evolve our shared values, but it's a really big part of who we are, and I'm really, really proud of that. But I've also been really involved in hiring staff. We have this amazing team. I actually have been involved in hiring every single person on staff at this point. And I'm really, really proud of that and the team we have and working on that. I did a lot of work with the Berkeley Cultural Trust and felt really good about being able to sort of reinvigorate that group. And I founded an internship program through that, which is on hiatus, but it was a really great program with UC Berkeley and about 10 arts organizations. I've been really involved in the negotiations with Actors Equity Association. Jenn basically is leading the producers team, and that's been something that's felt really valuable, and I've been really glad to participate in those ways. And I've been really glad to be able to help increase our budget. When I started, we were at about just over 1.5 million, 1.6 million. There was a lot of old-fashioned systems, not quite things in place. Things were running amazingly well, but I was able to take the time and evolve those so that things are a lot more professional in those ways. That's really helped us grow. That's been really a big part of what's been able to help us grow, is being able to be more efficient in those ways, and keep supporting all the staff and all the work they do so that we all can support all the artists and all the work that you all do.
Yeah, I know when I first started working at Aurora, one of the things that I had always heard and known about Aurora was just the integrity with which it operates and the degree to which it treats people well. That the artists all feel really treated well here, and that's something that was really important to me, and that I really valued as an artist coming to work at Aurora, and then working in the administration as well. It's and that's in large part because of the tremendous work that you did behind the scenes, making it all happen.
Thank you.
I know you've had some favorites over the years.
Yeah.
So we're going to just look at a couple of photos here of some of your favorites.
Favorite plays from Aurora? Tell us a little bit about why you chose these plays as we see the pictures.
Oh, it was a hard decision. Yeah, you asked me last week about this, and it was. There's so many shows that I've got such good memories. This one's the Royale, which is really one of my favorites. It's such a beautifully stylized show in a way that we don't usually do at Aurora. Daryl V. Jones directed it, and he has a lot of choreography experience and really put that into place there. And it was telling a story about people in place I knew nothing about, and I probably wouldn't have known without it, which is really, it's my favorite thing about theater. It's being able to be shown and taken to all these places that I never would have been otherwise, and feel all of these things with the characters.
There's the elaborate entrance of Chad Deity. That was the show that was running when I started working at Aurora.
Yeah, I love this show, and I could not be more proud of it. It was definitely not a financial hit, but I think the work on it was tremendous. It's a really powerful, important play. It's housed in the idea of wrestling, but really is not about wrestling at all. And it was a remarkable company of artists and people who were able to pull it together. And there's Callie's Folly with Ralph Saxon and Lauren English. And that one is really, really different than all the others I think I chose. It's really sweet, and it was beautiful. It was in the Dash Town. It was one of our early shows there, and it really transformed that space. I can picture it so clearly in my head. The colors, the lighting, and the sea, and Lauren's work in particular, I thought was really exceptional, and was my first time actually seeing her work, and just fell in love with all of that.
Oh, Gideon's not.
Yeah, the totally other direction, not sweet at all. I loved Gideon's Knot. It was really hard, and I imagine I would have a much harder time watching it now that I have my own child. But it was such a intense, powerful play with just two actors still going through things, and I was really proud of us for taking the chance on it. We were nervous about it going in, about whether or not it was too much in our small space, if that's too much intensity. And I'm really glad that Tom decided that we should go ahead and do that and took the chance on it.
I remember being really pleased. We did a table read of that, and we talked to our board about it a lot to see, is this just, there's some very intense content in that play, some very disturbing things get said on stage, and everybody was like, you know what, this is a good story. This is worth putting on our stage, and the production team just did such a great job with it. It was really amazing. Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing those memories, Julie.
Yeah, of course.
Rebecca, what are you going to miss about Julie when she's gone?
I keep telling her every time I email her or Zoom with her, I don't want to cry because I will miss her so much. It's almost like I would say, I need to know, and then she'd have the answer right then. I didn't even have to express myself fully. And boy, I will miss that. Because, yeah.
That's what 11 years at one place gets you. I know the questions and I'm pretty fast on the answer.
That's true. But you have a very tight financial mind, which just plays into my area. So, and boy, I will miss that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, and I'm really grateful that, I think with Tom, when I was the literary manager, and now that I'm the artistic director, just feeling so supported and feeling like we, as, the artistic side, had the ability to program the plays that were going to tell the stories that we felt we needed to tell, and that we had the support of the administrative side and the management side, that the financial side, that we could do that. And it's not always like that at every theater. It's, sometimes it's a much rockier relationship. And I'm really, really pleased that it went so well for so long.
Yeah. I wouldn't be at Aurora if it weren't for Julie. I interviewed with Julie, not Josh.
Yeah.
So I wish we had got to do our season live together. Of us, had worked on so hard with the staff. But I mean, 11 years is quite a tenure. It's
been a long time.
Yeah.
It'll be a very, very big change for me not having that same routine and not being driving up to that theater in Berkeley, that my car knows the way.
But and you mentioned Oakland, so you would be coming to the Aurora for our theater.
I will be coming to the Aurora to see theater.
I hope so.
I cannot wait until I can come and sit in the theater, and the actual theater, and there'll be a play on the stage, and being able to see that live theater experience, or maybe if I'm lucky, getting to sit in the catwalk still and watch the experience up there, because it's a great season we have coming forward, and I definitely don't want to miss it.
Well, that's a good transition to talk about the next part of our episode, which is our 30th anniversary season. I think to get us in the mood for thinking about live theater again, we are going to share a montage of some past productions at Aurora. This was put together for Supernova last year, our annual party, but it's been a while since we played it, and it's always so powerful to me over the past year. Sometimes I'll just go back and watch this just to remind myself of what we're missing and what we're going to get back to. So here's John, are we ready to play that clip? Yeah, let's do it.
This is a great moment for a community activated conversation.
So let's all try and remember to keep our conversation supportive and truthful and helpful.
What could that be?
I want what is mine!
We're not a communal nation, dear. I apologize for being on Engage, you say engage, but with whom exactly?
Some great change must happen here, some defining change.
It's not extreme. It's the truth.
Look in this girl's face and tell me some boots means more than that. All you do is mess things up.
I have a break in my year for a small project. It might be perfect. I could squeeze it in before the Abu Dhabi Tower of Justice and Interrogation.
Well, it is what it is.
This here is going to be the answer to all of our problems. We get us some business of our own, make them stop treating us like trash to be swept away.
You want to dream, and even if the dream don't work out, even if it don't last, at least it felt real good trying.
All right, you all, so the theme is white trash.
It's no trick loving somebody at their best. Love is loving them at their worst. Is that romantic? Well, good.
Magical thinking. If we sacrifice the virgin, the rain will come back. If I keep his shoes.
Learn to dance life like champions instead of always being a bunch of beginners at it.
What are you going to do?
Wow.
I love that video.
Oh, so many wonderful artists in that video.
Mhm.
Well, that was our look back before we go forward.
Yeah, so let's talk about our 30th season. So subscriptions are on sale now. And the idea with this season, we're going to talk about, we have 5 plays in our season. The idea is that we will have our first show in September. If it turns out that we can do live theater in our space with a full audience, then we will do that. And if it does not turn out that that's possible, then we will stream the show to your home on video. But either way, we will stage the play in our space. And if it's filmed, it'll be professionally filmed. You'll be seeing our theater and enjoying the play. And we're really hoping that at least by the second show and certainly by the third show that we will be live and in person once again and welcome you all back to our space on Addison Street. It's going to be so wonderful to see all of you again in our space. The first show, I guess we'll go in order here. The first show is still to be announced. And I was really hoping that today the last pieces would fall into place and we'd be able to make the announcement today. But we are still just squeezing those last pieces in there to make that announcement. We are not able to do so today. So you're going to have to wait. But please do keep an eye out for an email from us or on our social media or on our website to find out about the first show of the season. Dawn, would you like to tell us about the second show?
Well, the second show will be Father-Daughter, a world premiere play by Kate Kerrigan, directed by M. Graham Smith. And this play was scheduled for our 2021 season. So it would have been opening right about now, actually, in our Dash Out space. And of all the things we had to leave behind, this was one that we were able to bring forward with us into the new season.
Yeah, I really love this play. It's a beautiful story. Kate Kerrigan is a really wonderful writer. She's known for musicals, for writing musicals. And she's quite well known for writing musicals. And this play is not a musical, but it is a really heartfelt story. Do we have a clip that we want to play of Kate and Graham?
I do have a clip of Kate, and I have a clip of the reading that we produced back in November. So what do you want first?
Oh, let's do the reading first. Let's do that.
Here we go.
Teresa, stop.
I tell you everything. Hard things. And you just say, gotta run, see you sometime?
I have to drive up and see my kid. What?
You call her my kid.
So?
It's weird. You never say her name. Do you do that with me? The woman I'm seeing, do I have a name?
Okay, listen, I'm late, and it sounds like you have a number of bones to pick about how we do have this fight. So how about we have this fight when I get back?
Yeah.
Great.
Are you coming back tonight?
It's a 2-hour drive.
Okay. Does that mean you're staying there? Where are you staying?
At a friend's.
Who?
What are we doing?
What are you doing? We had dinner last night. We talked about our lives, or I guess I did, and you never once mentioned that you were going to see her today.
It didn't come up.
That's a little teaser. Again, that's from the reading we did back in November, which Graham also directed.
Yeah, Graham Smith is going to be directing this piece for us. And that was William Thomas Hodgson and Janae Simon, two wonderful Bay Area actors in that clip. Let's go to the clip from Kate.
I wrote this play as I was in a writing retreat at the Lark Playwright Development Center, and it was this week-long writing retreat. And I walked in and I said, I want to do a 2-person play, and I want to write the first draft in a week. And they looked at me like I was a little crazy, but I had just gotten married, and I had all of these feelings that I wanted to talk about connected to this sort of major shift in my relationship with my father that happened over the course of the year leading up to our wedding, and dealing with talking about our relationship with him, but also discovering that your relationship with your partner can impact your relationship with your parents, which is something that literally had never occurred to me. I'd always thought about the ways that I was like my mother or like my father, but I'd never thought about the ways in which my relationship with my husband could positively impact my relationship with my dad and really change it because of the way that my husband interacted with the world. So because of that, it was something that it surprised me so much that I realized that I'd never heard somebody else say that either. And so I thought it was kind of an interesting angle to take with a 2-person play.
It's a small enough play that you can get a real good sense of what the play might become without having staged it. But the conversations that Graham and I have started to have about what the space could feel like and how that could connect to that vulnerability he was talking about, and the ways in which we might be able to just like hint a little bit at some of the places that we're headed, and the fact that there's going to be this pretty weird dance in the middle of it that I'm very, very excited about. And I'm really excited about seeing how that can transform the play. I write a lot of musicals, and in musicals, so much of it is about rewrites, and so much of it is about growing the piece once you have your collaborators on board. So it's an opportunity to me to see what Graham's ideas are, see what the actors' ideas are, and see if I can keep growing the piece a bit more.
Wonderful.
Julie, do you have any thoughts about this one that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, this is another piece. It's just a really interesting piece about relationship, which is exciting. And it's a cool concept of there's 2 actors, they each playing 2 parts, and it's this reverse relationship. So it's going to be, I think, really interesting to see how that develops with the full rehearsal process. It was great in 10 hours of rehearsal getting into the reading. And I have to say, I'm also so glad that Graham is going to be directing. Graham has been involved with Aurora for so many years. He was our producer of GAP, the Global Age Project. Some of you might remember that for a long time. And I worked together on that. And he's been really with us and supporting us for so long. So I'm really excited to see what he can do with the whole show that he gets a whole rehearsal for, and he can actually have a whole production for on our stage.
Yeah, it's such a neat structure where the 2 actors play the father and his new the woman that he's in a new relationship with, and then those scenes alternate with scenes with the father's daughter 20 years later with the new man that she's in a relationship with, but it's the same two actors switching off. And it's just a really inventive, powerful structure for a play, and quite delightful and really heartfelt. I mean, it goes really deep into these relationships and the feelings that these folks are having.
Such a beautiful play, and I'm thrilled that we're offering the world premiere.
So we have actually 3 world premieres in this season, which is a lot for us, and I'm really excited. I feel like the world has changed a whole lot in a lot of different ways over the last year, and the conversations that folks are having have changed a lot. And I feel like one of the things that theaters do is we're sort of the scouts, right? We go out and we have the conversations that are looking forward. And doing new plays at this time just feels really right. That it's plays that can really respond to the moment that we're in right now and speak to it very specifically. So the third play of our season, we are welcoming back Jonathan Spector, who is the author of Eureka Day, which is a play that is very dear to my heart, that we premiered in 2018 through Originate and Generate, our new play development program that grew out of the Global Age Project. This was a play, Eureka Day was a play that we commissioned through that program and has since gone on to great success in New York City and around the country. Another production was just announced today or yesterday, and more are in the works. And I think Jonathan is just a tremendous playwright and a great friend as well. And this is, I love that we are continuing our relationship with a playwright that we commissioned, and that he's getting produced at much larger theaters now, but I love that he feels of Aurora as a home, and that we're a spot where he can develop work and we can put it on our stage. And this is a tremendous play. It's a play about a lot of things. It's a little hard to describe in a quick session here, but I'm going to do my best. It's a play. The play starts with a character named Lukesh, who is a psychology professor giving a lecture at a university about psychology, and specifically about how we make decisions and about how the part of our brain that actually makes decisions might not really be the same part of our brain that rationalizes and consciously thinks about decisions. And in fact, that part of the brain makes up the reasons why we do things after we have already decided to do them for some more mysterious reason. And it examines this phenomenon and sort of what the consequences of that are in terms of agency, but also in terms of culpability. To what degree are we responsible for the things that we do or the things that happen to us? And how do we, that same part of our brain that rationalizes the decisions we make also rationalizes the things that happen to us and the things that become part of us. So, on the one hand, there's a few interlocking stories that all explore this theme in different ways. There's the story of Lukesh's wife, Natalia, who's traveling to Russia to unravel a family mystery about her grandmother, who was good friends with Stalin's daughter when they were children, but the grandmother's parents were taken away in one of Stalin's purges. We also get the story of Svetlana, Stalin's daughter, as an adult, the true story of her defecting to the United States in the 1960s, which is fascinating in its own right. And then the story of one of Lukesh's students, who is a university student who is outed as being the son of a very prominent white nationalist. And the son has been active in his father's white nationalist organization. And he begins to question the beliefs that he was raised with. And at the same time, there's also a story about somebody who I don't want to say too much, but is in an accident that causes harm to somebody else. And it was completely accidental, but still feels that responsibility. And so it examines, it's these interlocking stories that don't necessarily obviously connect, but thematically they do. And it explores these ideas in just a really exciting way, with Jonathan's sort of trademark wit and ability to write characters who are very passionate about what they're talking about, but sort of step on each other and have a hard time communicating in a very endearing sort of way, which he did so well in Eureka Day. So I think this is one I'm directing. I'm super excited about getting to work on that.
And then our third world premiere is another writer that we've commissioned recently. So Cleavon Smith, who wrote alongside with Jonathan and Lauren Gunderson, The Flats, the 3-part audio drama that we did last fall. That was last fall. So he's written a commission for us. That's what we're waiting to find out. And this play is centered on some students and administrators at the Cal Berkeley campus. So it's very timely. He started writing it in the wake of the George Floyd murder. And what we have is a student who's a member of the Black Student Union is met with police violence. And so the students are calling for active revolt, active for revolution. And the administrators on campus bring in a public intellectual, a prized author, to speak to them. And the author's platform is more along the lines of a radical middle and dealing with what it means to alienate people that would otherwise be your allies. And so, like, I love what Cleavon says, that the play is focused on deep interpersonal conversation. And so it's set right here in Berkeley, and we'll be doing a developmental reading of it next month, June 5th, open to the public, virtually. And so we'll be getting more information out about that as well, and I'll be directing that. And it's part of our ONG program that we have.
Yeah, Cleavon Smith is our Originate and Generate Commission playwright this year. And this is a play he's been talking about with us for a while. I think Cleavon is a tremendous artist. I've been really excited to see his work at Theater First and around town, and was very pleased to work with him on The Flats earlier this year. And this play is, I think, so timely. And I love that, Dawn, that you mentioned the way Cleavon talks about it as being about the deep interpersonal conflict and communication that are happening, because it is a play that is tremendously political. It deals with political ideas that are just so rich right now and so topical right now. But it does it through really personal interaction. And I feel like that's so Aurora. That's like what Aurora does best is we get at these big ideas through the deeply personal. And I think it's a tremendous play. I'm really, really excited that we're going to present the world premiere and that you're going to direct it.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be working with Cleavon. I am such a fan of his.
Yeah, he's a great guy as well. And he's going to be our guest next week on Aurora Connects. So you can,
yes.
2 weeks from today, you can tune into that. There's that artwork there is the sort of thumbnail sketch from Liz Lotta, who's the wonderful artist who has been doing our poster art. And this is her concept sketch for the poster art that will be revealed soon. That's what we're waiting to find out. I love this artwork that she's done. I can't wait to share the full painting with you all. So that's 3 world premieres that we're doing, and then we have one more play to close out our season in June and July of next year, and that play is Wives by Jacqueline Backhouse. This play premiered in New York before the pandemic and did quite well at Playwrights Horizons. It's a very funny, very smart sort of feminist manifesto. Dawn, you want to talk us through it a little bit?
It's a, episodic comedy that features the wives of great men, and it's hilarious. I feel like it's has a lot of youth appeal, right? Like there's a Beyonce quote at the top of the play, and I sort of love how it moves through time. So each sort of vignette is set in a different time and place, kind of culminating in a colonized India, which is where Jacqueline is of South Asian descent. And so the cast will be made up of primarily South Asian descent actors. And I laughed out loud, which is very rare for me when I read a play. And I just love that these women are bold and brassy, and they speak their minds, and they work their high heels. The wives
so we get
Hemingway.
scenes set in in France with the wife of the king and the king's mistress, and their Catherine de Medici, and they're sort of rivals, but decide, well, wait a second, why do we have to be rivals? What if we teamed up as women? And it sort of goes, each of the vignettes has something along those lines. Another scene is just after Hemingway's death, and it's Hemingway's widow and his former wives sort of talking a lot of shit about Hemingway in the wake of his death, and figuring out how they can come together. There's also a scene with a student club at Oxbridge University dedicated to witchcraft, and it's just such a smart, interesting, very funny play, but also dealing with some really exciting big ideas.
And Julie, this is your final season that will have your fingerprints on it. What are you looking excited to come back and see? Which of these plays are you really chomping at the bit for?
I think that, they're all exciting. I'm really excited about the season as a whole, and I think they complement each other really well. I will absolutely not miss that's what we're waiting to find out. I'm super excited about it. It's been going on for a while. I've read, early drafts and seeing it through, and I can't wait to see how it comes together. And Wives it's hard to describe even. It's fun, and it's strong, and the women are just kind of awesome. And you just, that's kind of the best word I can really think of. They're just kind of awesome. It's different in style than a lot of things Aurora's done, but it's also so similar. It really is such an Aurora play, because it is, again, touching on history through a different lens, and with fun, and focusing on sort of the other characters, which I think is something that we've done, and some of the shows I've really loved have done that. So I can't wait to see that show, and it's going to be a very fun live night of theater. And really, I would say that whatever show I can see live first, I will be very, very excited for, and that is the one I'm going to be running over for, because I cannot wait to get the chance to have that energy again. It's going to be a very, very odd experience to not be a part in the same way of an opening after all of this time and all of this wait and all of this excitement. But I will be there for sure, cheering everyone on and watching from the audience.
Do you have any thoughts you want to share, Rebecca, about any of this?
I know technology is whatever. I've gotten reinvigorated to see all this. And I just saw Dawn's The Matchmaker at ACT, and I cannot wait to see what she does this next season at Aurora. She is phenomenal.
We are so lucky to have Dawn on our staff.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you both. Again, I'm just, this has been a long time coming for me as artistic director. The first season I got to choose went out the window with the pandemic, and this one has been a little tricky to put together. But I think we've just, we've come up with plays with stories that need to be told, right? That's ultimately what it comes down to is theater is about telling stories. I always love to say that Aurora is the storyteller for our community. And just like communities need, hardware stores and doctors' offices, we need theaters. We need theaters to tell us these stories in a place where we can come together and share in these stories and have these conversations and ask ourselves these hard questions and really, learn who we are in the world. And it's a new world. We need new stories. And I think these are the stories that are going to really speak to the moment that we're in right now. So please subscribe. Please go to our website at auroratheater.org and purchase a subscription. And again, the first play, possibly the second play, might be on video. If as soon as it's safe for us to have everybody back in our theater, we just can't wait to do that. But we're putting plans in place to do it safely, We're going to be following all the regulations, and we can't wait. We can't wait to have you all back.
Josh, our advocacy spotlight this week is curiosity.
Curiosity, yeah.
Curiosity. So, Julie, I put you on the spotlight there. I know you spoke to us a little bit about, but if you don't mind sharing again the rundown.
Sure. Yeah. Curiosity is, they love to call themselves a serious science playground. And I just love that. I think it's the best way of thinking about things. And I think getting kids excited about science and excited to go out into the world and explore and have that hands-on experience is really meaningful and really powerful. I know my daughter loves it, and I am so thrilled to see her light up with science. And all of the great work they're doing. So Curiosity, it's on the peninsula down in San Mateo in Coyote Point Park, which is also a beautiful, beautiful setting. So everyone should come and check it out and have a fun time with their kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews or neighbors or anyone they want to bring.
And they are at curiosity.org. And they're just south of the airport, right? Of SFO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are just south of SFO.
Now, I know it's for kids, but can adults come and enjoy it?
Adults can come and enjoy it. The science exhibits, the hands-on things are certainly much more for the kids, but they're the annual sanctuary. You get to see lots of fun animals. There's
otters,
porcupine. You sometimes get to see feedings of these things. There's various animals and foxes and a gray wolf and eagles. So lots of really cool things. And again, it's such a beautiful location. It will, you really can't go wrong being out there.
Okay. Nice.
All right. Well, Julie, we will miss you. Thank you for coming on Connects today.
Of course. I will miss all of you. Luckily, there'll still be Connects for me to watch online.
Yes.
And keep up with what's going on. Yeah.
Talk about
and
life
Rebecca, thanks
after
for joining
theater.
us as well. Oh.
My pleasure.
Well, I think that's our episode, Dawn. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
So I already mentioned going to our website for the subscriptions, but I will mention one more time that The Bluest Eye is still running, our audio drama. So please, if you have not yet given that a listen, please go check it out.
And of course, like I said, you can contact us anytime at connects@auroratheater.org. We love to hear from you. My colleagues were backstage telling me that we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Perhaps the wrong YouTube link, but it made it. So thank you for hanging in with us during this transition as I co-host and program the show in the absence of my dear friend Amanda Mason, who's now making movies.
We should say that you only have one more week for The Bluest Eye. I've been mentioning that, but I did not say that one more week for The Bluest Eye.
One more week.
So check it out soon. And again, I'll mention one more time that you can make a donation to Aurora Theater Company by going to our website, clicking the donate button at the top right. And that if you do, your donation right now will be matched up to $100,000 thanks to our generous board.
Well, our next guest will be Cleavon Smith. He'll talk to us about That's What We're Waiting to Find Out, and all the things he's up to in the world. And that will be on Thursday, May 27th at 5 p.m., right before I sneak away for a Memorial Day vacation. So,
and then we'll be having our reading of That's What We're Waiting to Find Out, our Zoom streamed reading on Saturday, June 5th at 5 p.m.
Absolutely. So thanks to our guests again. Thank you, Josh. And
Thanks,
to our
Dawn.
viewers. Thanks for staying connected.